side by side, this is the clear winner. It's not even close. It's like way, way, way better than both of those two. Welcome to this very special episode of Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we're going to be drinking some Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. So, if you know anything about me and my channel, you know that I'm in love with Jack Daniel's products. I'm a super fanboy, and actually, when I was younger, I used to live in Japan, and I used to drink Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 in most bars that I went to, just because it was readily available and tasted relatively good. So I'm very familiar with the Old Number 7. But I always never really thought of Jack Daniel's as a brand that has like fancy or limited edition or cool whiskeys until recently. A couple of years ago, I got to try the 2022 limited edition Jack Daniel's twice barreled American single malt, which is this product here. If you've been watching my channel, you probably know that this is one of my favorite whiskeys of all time because it kind of marries my love of Scotch whiskey and single malt, which is basically malted barley, with my love of American whiskey. Even though this is 100% barley, American single malt made to be like a Scotch whiskey, but it has its very recognizable American character. And I really appreciate that it tastes great. It doesn't have those metallic notes that I get with a lot of other American single malts. So we're not going to be talking about this tonight. We're going to go back to the Coy Hill, and well, I'll talk about this in a little bit. But basically, all the other whiskeys that Jack Daniel's usually produces, they could technically be referred to as bourbon, but because they want to have their own distinct marketing speak or whatever, they refer to it as Tennessee whiskey, and they say that the difference is that they do what is called the Lincoln County filtration process, where is they basically charcoal filter their whiskey. But for all intents and purposes, these can be identified as bourbons because they are majority corn. They were aged in new oak barrels, and they meet basically all the requirements of being a bourbon. So, a couple of years ago, or I should say, 1 year before that other whiskey that I just introduced, in 2021, Jack Daniel's released the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. This particular bottle was gifted to me for my birthday by my amazing whiskey friends. And it is, you can see that it is a hazmat bottling, meaning it's more than 70% alcohol by volume, so 70.55 or 141.1 proof. And the story behind this Coy Hill release is that there's a couple of warehouses on top of a hill called Coy Hill, and because they got this one from Floor 8, everything in the range of this release, they're all single barrels, and the range of ABV, or I should say the range of proof, was from 137.5 to 148.5, so almost like 45% alcohol by volume. So this release, when it came out, was in the order of $60 to $70, and it does tend to sell in secondary market for a minimum of $800, and some of the higher proof ones I've seen sell for upwards of $1,500. So uh, truly a unicorn bottle that honestly, if you didn't get it at the beginning, or if you don't have amazing generous friends, probably unlikely to be in your collection. So more recently, Jack Daniel's decided that they're going to do a redo of the Coy Hill, but this time with a bit of a difference, of course. So the original release again was from Floor 8, and it was the range was much higher because it was on the higher floor, and I think these are around 9 years old. The new release is just under 11 years. Apparently, it's 10 years and 11 months or something like that, and they all come from floors 5 and 6. So the range of ABV on these is much lower. It's between 122 and 137, and the one that I have managed to acquire here is 124.9. So it's on the lower end of on the a proof, meaning it was probably from floor 5 rather than floor 6. I did open it earlier today, and I tried it, and yeah, it's really amazing. And I just want to know how it compares to the old one. I haven't actually opened my old one, but I do have a sample that is 71.8%. I got this in a trade, I believe. I don't remember. I think I traded like a couple of ounces of the 13th colony that you can see up there. By the way, if you look up there, you'll notice that there's a larceny in place of where I usually put this Jack Daniels. And the story behind that is that my friends gave me that as a decoy gift before giving me this. So yes, that one is has a special place in my heart, and it's always there next to the unicorn card that's like I also got for my birthday. Anyways, so we have the old 2021 release, which I'll pour a sample of. I have the new one, which is 124.9 proof, and this one actually is the bottling date is 8/8/24, and the barrel number is 2407318. I will put that up if it's not visible later. Okay, so and I thought I should throw in another sort of reference whiskey in there, and this one is a regular barrel proof pick. It was bottled by Eli's, which is a shop. I think it's in Roseville, which is a town in Northern California. And this is a very, very good store pick. I think the store picks, what they have against them is that they're in the order of 5 to 6 years old, so they're much, much younger. So the store pick is almost like half the age of this, and it's like this one is 50% older. And of course, the store picks, they don't come from the same rig houses that are on Coy Hill, so they're obviously not going to have the same profile. But it would be interesting to know anyway how it stacks up against the much more expensive and much more touted ones. By the way, if I didn't already say, around 800 minimum in secondary. This recent release is around $400 to $450 in secondary, and the store pick, I believe I got in the order of $80. So the MSRP on them is sort of very similar, but yeah, the secondary market's very, very different. So yeah, I'm gonna pour them here, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah. All right, so we'll put number one on the Coy Hill from 21. We'll put number two on the new Coy Hill from 24, and the store pick will be number three. All right, so let's get started with this. As usual, we'll nose them first, give you some notes, taste, give some more notes, guess which is which, and then tell you which one I like more. And yeah, then we'll do the reveal. All right, let's go with number one. Very nice. It's extremely viscous, sort of honey, and well, just a sweet honey and an oak note. There's definitely a very distinct charred oak note that I feel reminds me of a newly charred, deeply charred oak barrel. Just lots of like caramel and vanilla and honey. Love it. I'm not sure which one it is. It comes across. It didn't come across as super high proof, so I'm not really sure like if it is one of the Coy Hills. But I do believe this should be one of the Coy Hills because there's that distinct charred oak note. All right, we got a second one. This is very nice. Sort of similar to that, but it also has some fruity notes. So again, you have these dark molasses, honey, oak infused honey, basically, and on top there's some like fruity notes there as well. Super, super enticing and super, super inviting. Okay, let's go to the last one. Wow, this is also very good. Also very nice. Just again, like those deep, sugary sort of brown sugar and just molasses and honey and just lots of sweet and oaky notes. It has less of that sort of charred oak aroma to it, so it makes me think that perhaps this is the store pick because it doesn't have like the same charred. It has the charred oakness to some degree, but not to the same degree as those two, as far as I can tell. Let me just go back quickly just to make sure that I can still smell the charred oak. Yeah, it's definitely here for sure. It's here too. All right, so we'll. I think I'll just go in the same order for the tasting. That came across as very high proof. So again, it's like super sweet up front, but then like baking spices, and as the baking spices are dying down, like you then the more of the charred oak sort of notes come out. The finish is just like basically this mix of sweetness and oak, um, just lingering on and on. It's good. It's really great actually. Um, yeah, excellent. All right, let's go to this one. This is much more fruity. Um, it has the same sort of oak to it, but it's also much more fruity. So there's a little bit of a minerality to it as well. Very inviting. I think on the nose so far I preferred this. Let's see on the palate. That is the charred oak and and the sort of the deep caramel notes that come from that charred oak are very intense and deep in this. And it's super viscous. It just like sticks to your mouth and lingers on and on. This is a home run whiskey. It's really amazing. Wow. Okay, I don't know if this is the old Koi Hill or the new, but it's definitely one of the Koi Hills. I think because of the fruity notes, it's more the new one because I don't remember getting any fruity notes on the old Koi Hill. All right, let's go to the last one. I get actually more fruity notes here, and less of the charred stuff. So I'm not really sure. On the palate, this one is comparatively much younger than the other two. So I'm pretty sure at this point that this is the sorbet. It just there's more ethanol and it's still nice, but it just there's more ethanol and like sort of the oak is not as well integrated. So I would be shocked if this is one of the Koi Hills. I'm pretty sure these two are the Koi Hills. Now the question is which and which one do I prefer more? I'm pretty sure that this one is a new one because it's not as proofy. This one is definitely much more proofy. Having said that, I want to try them one more time and then I'll come back and give you final thoughts. Yeah, this is definitely very proofy. It's like, but the interesting thing is, even though it has so much proof, it doesn't burn as much as this does. This has definitely some like youthful ethanol notes that burn a little bit. This is just, especially for something that's hazmat, this is like 71.8%. Um, it is still something that you can sip on and enjoy quite a lot. Not that that one isn't, but yeah, I think it's very special. But this is something else. Yeah, and as it sits in the glass, it's opening up more and more, and I'm getting just more and more fruity notes in it, and yeah, it's special. All right, I don't need to try this. I'm pretty sure I know which one I like and which is which. So I think this is definitely the store pick. This one is this one is the new Koi Hill because it's lower proof and it has fruity notes that this one doesn't. Yeah, and that would mean that by process of elimination, this should be the Koi Hill. Now I have to say, the previous Koi Hill that I had a sample of was much better than this, from what I remember, or maybe it's just not standing up next to these. All right, so let's just do the reveal, and then we'll talk more about this. So this is number 2. So yes, this. Oh wow, number 2. This is the new release. Whoa, what is this then? This is number 1. This is the old release. Okay. Wow. This is number 3. Um, this is clearly way more fruity and much nicer. Oh man, that's so much better. Yeah, I think the new Koi Hill is definitely not as good as the old one. That's crazy. Um, that is a shocking result for me because I fully expected this one to be the more fruity one, based on the sample that I tried earlier today. But side by side, this is the clear winner. It's not even close. It's like way better than both of those two. There's just some fruity notes to this. It's much more complex. It comes across as lower proof, despite being much higher proof than that. I think it's almost 10% more proof, right? Yeah, it's like This is almost 72 versus this is 62, but this comes across as lower proof. That's insane. Wow. Um, I think I'm kind of disappointed at the new JD barrel proof. I don't know if just my particular bottle is not that special, but um, at least this sample that I have is insanely good. It's like so much better than both of those. This is like very good, but just it's kind of unfair to put it against much older whiskeys. It's definitely a solid whiskey. It's just like not on the same league. The nose was kind of fine. It was kind of closer to the second one, but it's missing those charred elements, and it's much more spicy in a way that is comes across as useful. All right, well, I guess those are the results. Of course, if you can get this at MSRP, it's a no-brainer. Of course, get it. But the real special whiskey, the one that is honestly, I don't want to say, but I kind of have to say, is worth the secondary. Is probably the old Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, because this is something that you're not going to taste elsewhere. It's just you put it up against any whiskey and it's going to hold its own. It's that good. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And yeah, let me know if you were able to find these and if Total Wine employees didn't act all weird and backdoor them on you as they did on us and some of my friends. But that's a whole other story for another time. All right, take care and see you next time.